is November 4th, approximately 5 p.m. If you would, please join in and stand the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. Thank you for that. Call to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Brent Couch, Chris Hussein,
Here.
Clement Ogunyemi,
Here.
Garrett Harlan,
Here.
Howard Austin,
Here.
Jennifer Keith, here. Mark Cloud,
Here.
Ray Cordial,
Here.
Teresa Reynolds.
Here.
Thank you. Can we get approval of minutes from October 7th, 2025?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Next on the agenda is amendment of Chapter 130 of the Springdale Code of Ordinances to comply with the provision of Act 313 of 2025, presented by Ms. Sharon Tromberg.
And before we start, I want a quick mention that we're going to have a brief couple-minute intermission at 6 p.m. I have a scheduled conflict, so I'm going to leave. Our Assistant Director, Jackie, will come up, just as a FYI. So the amendment of Chapter 130 for Springdale Code of Ordinances to comply with the provisions of Act 313 of 2025. So Arkansas state legislators passed a new House bill that was codified to Act 313. This allows accessory dwelling units in some areas for single-family homes. In the packet, there was a copy of the ordinance amendment that we plan to bring to council, and as well as a copy of the act itself.
Thank you for that. This is a big call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Next item, we'll review, I'll give you the items that will be tabled tonight. First is R25-51, Perez Construction LLC, that has been tabled. Table item PP 25-15, Spring Creek Haven PUD. Item B 25-104, Fing Site Modification has been tabled. And that may be it. One more. B 25-107, Scott and Jamie McGowan has also been tabled. Speaking of table items, we'll begin our agenda with table items from our last meeting. The first item up is C 25-06, Jittabon Lanyon Marshallese AOG. This is a use unit 42 request and a C2. There's a variance B 25-102 for minimum parking requirement, presented by Johnson Una. We'll move that to the back of the agenda so if they'll show up and we'll come back to that one. That'll be a shame. They did a lot of work on this. Next up is L 25-27, Harris Street Flex. This is a motion, subject to staff comments, large scale. There's also a handful of variances requests, structure back and sides, landscape and pedestrian flow. This is presented by Bates and Associates. Hello.
Addie Munsey with Bates and Associates. So today we are presenting the Harris Street Flex. We are proposing a flex space kind of area. Currently, the site is all impervious area, and with that, we are trying to propose variances to landscaping, a couple of the landscaping variances for the back and for the sides.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any more comments, or would you like for us to start?
You can start.
Okay, staff comments?
So in addition to standard comments, each of planning's remaining comments are addressed by the variance that's being presented tonight.
Thank you.
Submit off-site easements prior to construction, and then provide information about the structural stability of the culvert under the parking lot prior to construction.
Thank you. Any further staff comments? Is there any public comment regarding this large-scale development or variances?
Hey, Mark,
Yes.
fire department has one question.
Okay,
So in the plan, part of our comments were that we had 3 hydrants. We didn't see any indication of this in the plan, if you're going to add those hydrants, or if we're going to separate, if we're going to sprinkler. So we're
Ye-
just trying to figure out which path you're going to take for the record.
Yes, we do plan on proposing that additional hydrant, where Ed was mentioning moving up that landscaped island and shifting that hydrant exactly in that island. So, yeah, we're more than happy then providing that.
Okay, thank you.
hey, just, we have 3 hydrants on this site?
It's a wood frame building.
Ah, thank you. 3 times as much water, as fast? Commissioners, any questions or comments regarding this?
I just wanted to ask, I didn't see in the plan any identification showing the light fixtures, cut sheets or whatnot that are going to be on the site.
There should have been a lighting plan that was submitted as well as the mounting height and everything.
There is a lighting plan, but there doesn't show identified, I just want to make sure that the fixtures will be full cutoff fixtures and not like,
Yes, they are full cutoff, and we'll make sure and notate that on the plans as well and note that.
Can you speak toward the landscaping? Do you have our traditional required amount of landscaping, you just moved it around, or can you just speak toward that?
Yes, we definitely moved it around. If we could switch to that landscaping plan again, sorry. Yes, we provided as much as landscaping as possible. There is an access easement over on that west side that's kind of restricting us to providing any landscaping, which is particularly why we are asking for that variance on that side. Just because within some history of the property itself, that's why that was there. But yeah, other than that, we are providing as much landscaping as possible, especially on the side that we are residential, the side we are adjacent to the residential lots.
Thank you for that. If there are no further questions, I guess we'll take the variances first. Do you want to do these separate or together? Together, I think. This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Variance is passed. Now there will be a large scale. This will be motion subject to staff comments.
motion subject to staff comments.
Second.
Thank you. Both those pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next up is L 25-31 Oak Grove Commercial. This is a large-scale development as well. It also has some variance for minimum distance from drive-through and residential district, a variance for the various commercial design standards, which include entrances, facades, roofs, and landscaping, presented by ESI.
Hello, everyone. Josh Haley with ESI here. Tonight, we are asking for LSD approval for a commercial development over at Elm Springs and Oak Grove. It's about 8 units. It'll be commercial use. We are asking for a couple variances for commercial design standards, and we are asking for another one for drive-throughs adjacent to residential parcels. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Staff comments?
For planning, please submit patio seating details for approval prior to the installation. And we do have B 2589 to reduce the minimum distance from a drive-through to a residential property. We have 2 drive-throughs on this property, both on the east and the west side. So we're going to ask to reduce the west side from 200 feet minimum to 88 feet, and that east side from 200 to 127 feet. And then we also have a variance for commercial design standards, B 2590, for the entrances, to not add an additional entrance on the Oak Grove facade, and then the facades and exterior walls, the roof line break in the rear of the property, the rear of the building, and then for foundation landscaping on the east and west side, as well as the south. However, on the south side, they have proposed to install planters at each unit. Engineering comments, please submit a PDF of the signed and sealed drainage report. All street sections shall be determined by formal design and geotech analysis. Please provide information about the condition of Oak Grove Road and the proposed improvements. And then on that Oak Grove design, just want to work out how we're going to end that curb line up on the north side.
Thank you. Any further staff comments? Any public comment regarding this request? Commissioners, any questions? If there are none, do we want to take these variances? Let's first do the minimum distance from drive-through and residential district. This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Do we want to take the 4 variances for commercial design standards together?
Yes.
Thank you. Just you and me tonight. Any call for the vote?
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0 as well. Final, large-scale development, this will be motion subject to staff comments.
Motion subject to staff comments.
Second.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
C 25-06, Jitterbond Lanyon Marshallese AOG. This is a use unit 42 and a C2 zone request. Also requesting a variance for minimum parking requirement, presented by Johnson Yuna. Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm sorry for being late. Apologize. Well, I'm here to get a good answer to approval for our conditional use.
Did you get your shared parking agreement with your neighbors?
Yes, already did.
Very good. Thank you for that. Any staff comments?
Yes, so at the last meeting, I think we covered everything about, except the parking. Everything else about the site and the use of it was acceptable, and so you guys came back, you applied for a variance, you also got a shared parking agreement. And I think that was kind of the final pending element for this conditional use.
Any public comments regarding this request? Commissioners, any questions? If there are none, this will be, we'll do 2 call for the votes. The first one will be for the variance for minimum parking requirement.
Call for the vote.
That passes 8-0. The next will be for this use unit 42. Also call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That also passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Staff is going to prepare an ordinance for this conditional use. That's going to go to city council on the 25th. And so you are encouraged to come back here at 6 o'clock on the 25th. And city council will have the final vote on the conditional use, but the variance has been approved.
Okay.
Okay?
Next up is B25-82, Ezekiel Balderas, requesting multiple variances, side setbacks, front setback, and a fence height, presented by Ezekiel Balderas. Hello.
Hello, sir. I'm Ezekiel Valderas, and I'm requesting for a reduction of variance on 3 front sides of the house to meet the new code. And also increase fence height from 3 to 6 as well.
Any staff comments?
I just want to be clear about this property. Right now, it's zoned C1, so it's commercial, but it's being used for residential use. So it's a legal nonconformity because it had been. And so it sounds like you're trying to do alterations and keep it as a residence, right? Or do you have plans to convert to commercial?
No, not really. Not right for right now.
Okay. And you could always come back and request to rezone it to some sort of residential where some of this stuff would be allowed by right.
Yes.
What is it zoned now?
C1, neighborhood commercial.
Got it. Any public comment regarding these requests of these variances? Commissioners, any questions or comments about these variances?
I was a little confused about what the actual setbacks would be, because it was different on the drawings as opposed to what we got. So if you can clarify that for us.
Which one, sir?
All of them.
Well, actually, it used to meet the new code, I believe, because I haven't increased nothing on the house. That's how it's been since it was built, I believe so. The only thing I increased is on I have 3 fronts of the house. Where the front entrance is, I increased 2 foot, the front porch, that was it. But the other sides, it's been like that since the house was built, so we just have to meet a new code for variance, I believe so.
And because it's zoned C1, technically it has to adhere to commercial setbacks, which are a little bit bigger. The side setbacks are 20. And so for residential, it would typically be 8. But it looks like, at least from the application, right, there's a reduction of the side setback, the one to the east that's next to the house, right? And then a reduction of your front setback from 30 to 14. And then the front setback that is on the side of Watson. And then you also want a fence, and because it's in the front, and it's a residential use, we're requesting it to go from 3 to 6, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's like you're adding a patio. Is that what you're doing to the side of the house? Is that part of the encroachment problem or issue?
No, it's gonna be on the back of the house. I still meet the code on the back, but it was just the sides.
Got you.
It was from which on the street, from the neighbors and that street where we don't meet the setbacks, but I'm not extending wider than that. I'm working towards the back on that.
Understood.
How tall is your fence? Is it 3 foot or 4 foot?
I'll say 36 to 40 inches right now.
Should we call for the vote?
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Passes 8-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next up is I-49 Industrial LLC. This is a variance request for paving requirement presented by Maddie Crossland.
Hello. Sarah Wright with I-49 Industrial. Asking for a variance in the paving requirements to allow keeping a gravel temporary lot on site for parking during ongoing construction.
Do you know if there's plans to build on this site in the near future, or is this what we're looking at here, or is this something that's going to be in this position for quite some time? Just curious.
It's for temporary use during the construction of the building that is just south of it.
And how far along was that building?
I don't have a percentage of
Completion.
progress right now, but there's walls up.
It's in the dry? Any staff comments?
So I saw the variance request was only for 4 acres. What is going to happen to the rest of the gravel that's on the site?
The rest of the gravel that's on the site is being developed.
That's where the building is going right now?
We just shortened the temporary parking area for the time being to prevent putting down pavement where there's heavy equipment.
I'd like to ask how long the temporary parking is anticipated for?
I would anticipate through spring of 2026.
Would you be open to a 6-month bill of assurance? That way, if you begin construction in 6 months, then you can waive that. But it helps us make sure that we come back and look at this again in 6 months, if nothing has happened, to understand where you are today kind of thing. Because I think it's just, there's some neighborhood that's fairly close to this location, and lots of gravel could be
Yeah, I think that would be agreeable.
reasonable.
There wouldn't be, eventually there will be permanent parking on
Sure.
that site.
Yeah, understood. Is there any public comments about this request?
I had one more question.
Sure.
So you said this is for construction of that new facility. Is it still going to be used for Amazon parking as well?
Yes, during the time of construction.
During the time of construction
Well,
of the
during-
water line in Lowell, where their old parking lot used to be?
Yes, that is currently under construction. The water line, you said, the drainage?
Yeah, and then they're going to
Yes.
move back? Is that still the plan?
It's still in the same spot for that building. We've just moved the temporary parking back.
I mean, the vans.
Oh, the vans, yeah, we've just moved them back.
But where are they going permanently? Did they
Permanent-
live here permanently
No,
now?
no,
Okay.
it won't be a permanent situation. This will eventually permanently be the parking lot for the building constructed. The Amazon parking is temporary for their holiday season.
Okay,
It's
thank
just
you.
the spot we had for them, yeah.
Any public comments? Name and address.
My name is David Gilbert. I live at 5714 Walden Street, and although my mailing address is Lowell, I do live within the city limits of Springdale. I can see this facility from the back windows of my house. We noticed all of a sudden one day, months and months ago, I didn't get an exact count, but I'm going to guess 100 to 150 marked and unmarked vans, some marked Amazon, some just plain white, showed up on a gravel lot back there with field lighting shining in every direction. The dust that's come off of this, we have to deal with the dust from construction, which has been constantly underway for about 5 years now with small breaks. They build one building, then they build another building, then they build another building. So the dust from construction is ongoing and gets all over everything at my house. This, in my opinion, can only make it worse. The traffic generated by this space, a portion of it may be being used for construction, but a large portion of it is being used to house dozens of delivery vans, which come and go every day, multiple times. It's a tremendous traffic increase on Apple Blossom Road, which I have covered with you before, till you're tired of hearing about it, that it's not adequate for the traffic that's there, and this makes it even worse. I had assumed that this was a temporary condition because of the water line being installed at Amazon's Lincoln Street facility in Lowell. I went by last week. That parking lot appears to have been restored and being used by Amazon. So these are additional vehicles. They have been there for months, much longer than for the Christmas delivery rush. I have no assurance that allowing this gravel lot to exist until the spring, that they're going to go away anytime after December. This owner and this facility have a history of violating ordinances over and over again, asking for variances over and over again. It's bad enough that we have to live next to these warehouses immediately next to our residential properties, but the constant variances, the constant violations, the constant, we're going to do it first and ask for forgiveness later. It's my understanding that this gravel parking lot was installed with no permission from the city, with no permits, no grading permit, and that at one point I was told that it is not an allowable use in that zone. So I'm opposed to any exception for this owner on this facility. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any further comments? Any questions, commissioners?
What does the bill of assurance actually cover?
I'll let Sharon answer that.
It's basically a compliance factor, right? So you could set a bill of assurance for 6 months or a year, which is asking them to either pave it or remove it. Basically, that's the mechanism that we could use for compliance, right? So you could set the timeline you want, and if they start the development plan and get it approved and it becomes the parking lot, then we can, we could waive that bill of assurance. But if you don't, we need that as some sort of compliance factor and a timeline, I think is what we need.
Because that would be my only concern, is that it's just going to be an ongoing, like you said, 5 years down the line, it's still gravel. You know, what are we putting in place to make sure that doesn't happen?
What's there now exactly? Is it gravel?
I think it's
I'm
4
sure it's not
acres.
gravel.
Yeah, there's currently gravel there.
Is that much gravel currently needed for the current work being done on that structure? Is that really needed for all of that space, or?
I can't really speak to the larger project on that, but essentially that would eventually become the permanent parking for the building and construction.
I think we have two options. I think we can either vote the variance request, or we can request a 6-month bill of assurance to allow them time to get the Amazon vans off the site and either at that point, do something different with this site, either before then or by then. I think those, to me, those are two different pathways that are both reasonable to take at this point. If there's no motion, we'll just vote on the variance or ask for a call to vote on the variance request.
Call for the vote.
Call for the vote. That fails 7-1.
You have the right to appeal the planning commission's decision to city council. You can file your appeal in writing to the city clerk's office within 15 days of the planning commission's meeting. You have to identify what you think the error of the planning commission's decision was and re-notify the adjacent property owners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next session is public hearing, rezoning. First up is R25-63, Compassion Ministries LTD. This is a rezone request from P1 to SF2, presented by Jennifer Samuel.
Hello. Jennifer Samuel, the Executive Director of Compassion House, and we are trying to rezone so that we can sell this property, and I think you've already said everything. We do have other people, I think, here on both sides.
Sure.
That want to say more.
I'm sure we'll get to those. Any staff comments regarding this rezone request?
This rezoning request is not in keeping with the goals and the policies of the comprehensive land use plan and is not recommended for approval. The future land use plan does support residential here. However, we know it's antiquated and the physical layout and the existing uses on this block suggest a better fit for institutional or office use. The request undermines the plan's core residential compatibility and neighborhood protection goals. The rear of the home itself is about 23 feet from a 24-hour nursing facility, building edge to building edge. Both properties share a driveway, and because of that close proximity and the traffic patterns involved, it would be difficult to maintain a safe and comfortable residential setting here.
Thank you for that. Any further staff comments? Any public comments regarding this request? So come to the podium, state your name and address.
My name is Isaac Mooneyham. I live in Fayetteville, but I have the purchase contract for this property to rezone to single-family home for my family personally. This property's been on the market since May 6th of this year. And when I put this house under contract a little under a month ago, I was approached by Westwood Health and Rehab, and they told me that if I do not sign my contract over to them to purchase, that they will hold this property up in court as long as they can until we comply. They have had ample amount of time to purchase this property. I didn't move here till August, but this property is in a perfect location for my family. We have best friends for everyone in my family less than a mile away. And there's just nothing else that satisfies my family needs, which is wheelchair ramp, as well as the space that is a fence all the way around the house itself. And the driveway that is a shared driveway is actually an access easement in the property. That land belongs to the house. It doesn't belong to the Westwood Health and Rehab. However, I ensured them as well that I have no intentions of ever revoking their use of that. I just asked that they maintain it, and the reason is because it's completely degraded, the whole driveway. They refused to that as well, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with at this moment. I'm out a few $1,000s, at this point, and I'm asking for it to be rezoned single family for my family. Thank you.
And if I may make one more comment, staff's recommendation to folks that we've talked to about this was the potential of an O1, which is a neighborhood office district, which would be appropriate for this area, and a use unit 8, which is a single-family dwelling, is allowed by right. It is permitted, allowed in an O1. So that is one that would require, since it's technically commercial zoning, it would require a new application and to come before Planning Commission. But O1 would be one allowed a residence, and you would have staff support.
Yeah, I think the bigger picture for me is that I can't get a mortgage with anything that's not single-family zoned. That's pretty much my main concern, as well as the house itself.
Who told you that? Because I know several people who live in O1s and have mortgages.
Yeah, I've called every mortgage I can think of. I called Arvest. I asked them as well. I don't know anyone bigger than Arvest at this point that would allow it.
Yeah, I don't know that would, I understand your concerns. I don't think that'd be a problem that I'm aware of. I work for a bank, so I know a little bit about it.
If you've got.
I mean, a single-family dwelling is a single-family dwelling regardless.
Correct, and it is that. It's definitely not a commercial property.
Right.
It's completely.
To me, it's more,
bedrooms and
what's more
bathrooms.
important is it fee simple or not, which this is, so that's the more critical part from a bank standpoint.
However, the city does view it as commercial. The property owners sought to rezone and not a conditional use. So in the city's eyes, it had a commercial use that was allowed in institutional, so we view it as a commercial piece of property.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Good evening. My name is Cliff McKinney with the law firm of Quattlebaum, Grooms and Toll, and I'm here on behalf of SP West RE. They're the owners of the nursing home that's next door. And we have some significant concerns about this that I'll go over, as well as in a moment I'll mention that a lawsuit has actually already been filed over this issue, and we believe that this is a premature application at this point. This has been a nursing home continuously since the 1990s. This entire stretch of West End Street is institutional and commercial in character. From the 2-block stretch from Watson Avenue to West Sunset, I could not find a single residential use that's currently there. What's there is, of course, our nursing home, a church, a title company, a hearing clinic, a tire shop, doctor's offices, beauty salon, a massage parlor, and a sports card shop. The existing P1 designation was chosen for a reason for this location because it fits what the current use is and the uses around it. As a matter of fact, the next case you have on the docket after ours is for 805 directly catacoring to the site, where they're asking to go from SF2 to C1. So it would be inconsistent to grant this rezoning and then grant the next one as well, because they're so close proximity. My client only recently learned about this when they were approached by the potential buyer and challenged their use to this driveway that they've been using since the 1990s. And in the course of investigating that, we also believe that there's some of the land that they claim that they own is in fact belongs to my client. And earlier today, we did actually file a lawsuit in Washington County Circuit Court, and we've asked the court to declare who has the property rights to that portion of the property, as well as who has the rights to use the driveway. Frankly, this should not be done. This should not be a decision made to rezone this property that might in part belong to my client. The court process is underway as we go. That's what created the concern for my client in the first place, was the challenge to the use of that driveway. So that's ongoing right now, and if we're correct in prevailing that lawsuit, then frankly, you don't have the right signatures on the application for this rezoning, because he's seeking to rezone property that in part belongs to my client, and we've obviously not consented to this rezoning. In addition, this driveway, which is really, I think, what is the driving issue here and what's the problem, it's what really makes this incompatible for a residential family. And this is a 24-hour facility. It has staff changes every day at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m., all using this driveway. In addition to daily trash pickup, food and linen deliveries, medical supply deliveries, hazardous waste pickup deliveries from the nursing home, and also repair services come through that. The bottom line is this is just not a good fit for some place for someone to live. And believe me, I'm empathetic to their situation. I really am. But this is not the place for a house. This is going contrary to what the city has already decided. City Council's already looked at the site in the past and zoned it P1 and said you're being asked to rezone the property across the street as the next application immediately after ours. So we would ask that you deny this, A, because this is just not an appropriate place for residents, and B, because there is a pending lawsuit going right now over this exact issue and what the property rights are to this property, and it needs to work its way through the court process before this kind of rezoning action takes place. So I do appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank you. Any further comments?
I'd like to re-comment on that.
Sure.
This facility, Westwood Health and Rehab, it is an 80-bed unit. It's not technically a nursing home. It's a temporary. However, this driveway in question is not a driveway where the employees park or drive through. They have 4 other entrances to their property, and they have parking lots on the other side of their property. Additionally, as you can already see, everything surrounding this is SF2, besides the multifamily, everything around that. So I would imagine that if this is going to stay P1, then why don't they rezone as well? Additionally, across the street, which will be on the docket here very soon, that's already a commercial property. They're using it for commercial purposes. There's nobody that lives there. So, I mean, regardless of what you guys decide, everything just spoken was totally false. And I already indicated they're fighting this, bullying me, bullying the owner. I mean, they've had ample amount of time to purchase this property. I can't, speak to their ignorance for 5 months almost that they didn't know, that it was for sale. If they use this driveway every day, if they drive by the property, surely they saw the giant sign out in the front of the yard that said it was for sale. That's my complaint at this point. But I'm still obviously wanting it to be single family for my family.
Understood. Thank you. Any other comments? Commissioners, any questions or comments?
So, Sharon, if they were to agree to the 01, was it? You said they would have to submit a new application, I assume with additional fees and stuff too?
That is correct. Because they asked for a residential one, we can't switch the zone. They would have to put in a new request for a commercial district.
Can they still do that if we deny this straight up tonight?
Yeah, because it would be a different request. So if this was denied, they could come back with a separate request.
It
Mr.
would still
Phillips?
be subject to the time frame for request, though. It would.
I think my only other issue, if you will, is that, as it was stated, all of this is SF2 around it. I believe there's already a house there. The street plan or the future use plan, or land use plan, has it at SF2, correct?
It does, our land use plan from 2010.
I guess my main question is with all these questions outstanding, would it make sense to table this? And, I don't know, this question.
I'd probably look to Mr. Phillips for any input.
David Phillips, City Attorney's Office. Nothing I've heard so far prevents the commission from voting on this tonight, should you so desire. If I can specify, I don't know what style of case has been filed. It doesn't matter unless they're claiming that they own the entirety of the property, because the adjustments would be made automatically with the new boundary line. It would still have to do with the overall zoning of the property, and so you can make a decision on that if you so desire.
I want to clarify. If we deny their request for SF2, they will not be barred from coming back. There's no time period that they're going to be barred from coming back and then requesting O1, which the planning department believes is in accordance with the future use of the property. Am I right about that?
It depends if they would appeal. If it was denied, they would have a period of 15 days to appeal to city council. So they would have that opportunity, which would go to a city council. So we would just have to look at the timeline and make sure that, but the next submission date, if the appeal timeline has passed, they could submit a new application.
Sir, what is your timeline for purchasing this? I mean, I know you want it yesterday, but could you speak to that, come up to just speak to us on regards, from your point of view, your timeline sensitivity?
Yeah, I mean, I gave a 45-day closing on this, which I felt like was a lot of time. Correct, so it would be November 14th is when, that closing ends, I guess, but obviously if, your decision is made here, then I have to wait for the city council, at the end of the month. But yeah, as soon as possible is my hope for that.
Sure, is the existing seller willing to extend the closing date if that was an issue?
I'll put it this way, you guys have supported us. The city.
Will
Can
will
you
come
come up to
forward?
mic? I'm sorry, but thank you. Just trying to round up all the facts so we can make a decision.
Right. I'm going to say I cannot say right this minute
Of course.
because our financials at the nonprofit, everyone knows it's been a tough economic year. We house pregnant teen moms for the host out of Arkansas here. And we have to sell that house, and we've had it up since May because we are financially drained. So we needed to sell it in August. We have about 2 weeks, 3 weeks left before I have to stop paying my staff, and Compassion Ministries may go away altogether. So
Understood.
I don't know that I can extend anything. Anyway,
Okay, thank you.
I'm kind of at whatever you guys decide at this point.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any further comments? If there are none, this will be a call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Call for the vote. That passes 5-3. Thank you.
Staff will prepare an ordinance that goes to city council, on November 28th at 6 PM here, and you're recommended to attend, okay?
Next up is R25-64. This is Martin Flores Rodriguez and David Flores Gonzalez requesting SF2 to C1, presented by Jennifer Flores.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. So we are wanting to turn this SF2 to C1. It's currently residential, but all the properties around it are commercial. So we are wanting to just turn it into a beauty salon. Yeah.
Thank you. Any staff comments?
This rezoning request is in keeping with the following goals and policies of the comprehensive land use plan and is recommended for approval. Encourage the development of small-scale neighborhood retail and service uses at intersections of collector and arterials at the edge of logical neighborhood areas or within neighborhoods where suitable sites exist and conditions are appropriate to balance compatibility with convenience. And encourage the development of office and professional uses that provide a transition between residential areas and more intense uses with reasonable building height limitations, adequate buffering, and landscaping to ensure compatibility.
Thank you for that. Any public comment regarding this request? Any staff comments further? Commissioners, any questions?
I just do have a question, because it stated that we're taking an existing facility or existing home and going to be using it for this other. Will they have to, once the zoning is changed, bring that up to the new requirements?
They will, and they've already had a couple concept meetings with staff, with building, fire, engineering us, just kind of talking out what those would. And part of that requirement was they needed to have zone compliance. So it's kind of how we got here.
I just wanted to make sure it was on the radar. Thank you.
Great question. This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Thank you.
Staff will prepare an ordinance that goes to city council on the 28th. You're encouraged to attend.
Next up is preliminary plats, replats, and final plats. First up is LP 25-08. This is Whispering Springs Phase 1, presented by Crafton and Toll.
Hello, everybody. Blake Murray with Crafton Toll. Here to present Phase 1 of Whispering Springs subdivision. Construction is complete. 74 total lots, 71 buildable lots in Phase 1. The 3 unbuildables are the detention ponds on site. So at this point, all improvements have been made. Happy to answer any questions y'all have.
Thank you. Staff comments?
In addition to standard comments, add a note to the plat regarding fence heights to ensure that lots 1 through 17, number 239 and 240 may have 6-foot fences along Albright.
Okay.
And then a few questions regarding the covenant. So are there any perimeter fences proposed for the subdivision? And if so, just include any fencing details. And then in the subdivision and entry portion of the covenants, there is a reference to subdivision fencing and entry, but there aren't any details regarding a monument sign or anything like that. So we're just not too clear regarding the entrance there. Then there were several street trees called out in the preliminary plat. Please indicate those on the final plat and include match lines for just the pages that are split between multiple.
Of course. Thank you.
Engineering comments, there's a couple improvements just to finish up on the site, and then they just need to finish submitting their final plat checklist, which I checked again today, and I think there's only a couple items left.
Thank you. That's a great face you made. Any public comments regarding this final plat? Commissioners, any questions or comments? If none, this is a motion subject to staff comments.
Motion subject to staff comments.
Second.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Blake, I want to talk about timeline really quick. So since next Tuesday, the city is closed for Veterans Day, our city council will be on Monday, the 10th. So in order to publish it in time, we actually need that ordinance and the revised plat by tomorrow if you want to make next Tuesday's city council. If not, you can do the later one on November 27th or 28th. So
get it
just
to you.
let us know. It's a tight timeline, but we need it by tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
She drives a tight ship around here. Next up is large-scale developments. First up is L25-26 Paramount Metals. This is a large-scale Presentation along with a waiver of street improvements on Old Wire Road presented by Clint Carsteller of CK Civil Engineering. Hello, Clint.
Hello, how's it going? Clint Carstetter. We're doing a metal fabrication building on the highway between Old Missouri, or Old Wire on 249. There's a gas main that runs north and south. That's a 10-inch gas main that is going to cause the client to sell off the northern portion, or the eastern portion of the property. That's the reason we're requesting the waiver, so we can split that off of the plat. I guess just let me know what questions you have.
Thank you for that. Staff comments?
For the planning department, we're requesting to maintain consistency with that recording information for all the easements on site, and that the proposed easements are labeled as proposed. And provide a detail for the retaining wall fencing, and confirm the number of yard hydrants on site, and to also provide that parking lot landscaping calculations.
Please submit the approved RDOT permit prior to construction, and then they have the waiver of street improvements on Old Wire. They're not accessing this road. It's not part of this development, but we've asked them to apply for the waiver for consistency.
Any public comments regarding this large scale? Commissioners, any questions or comments regarding this large scale or the waiver request? If none, that's what I thought. This will be waiver request, will be a motion is forward to City Council with a recommendation of denial or approval.
Recommend to forward to City Council for approval.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank you. Passes 8-0. Large scale is also a motion subject to staff comments.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. That also passes 8-0. Thank you.
Staff will prepare a resolution that goes to City Council November 25th. I think I said the 28th earlier. It is Tuesday, November 25th. You're recommended to attend. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Next up is McFriar Warehouse Addition. This is a large-scale development request along with a variance for commercial design standards, landscaping and screening, presented by Half Associates.
Well, I'm not half an associate,
No,
but
you're
I'm
not.
Bill McClard, and I like to do this.
Sure.
We got approval and built a 35,000 square foot warehouse, as you see, and along came a tenant who said they'd like to have use of that property. In order to do that, there's a few things that I have to accomplish. I have to get 4 overhead doors in that building, 2 of which will go in be accessed where the hashed area is in the south portion and the southwest portion. And they are a roofing company that has a lot of their inventory that needs to be stored outside. So there was about a 1.4 acre tract left over on the back, and we are willing to build for them a 1.1 acre concrete storage area. So we're ready to do that. My 2 requests are, A, since this is a roofing company, and in my career, I have handled 4 or 5 roofing companies, and they are adamant that they have to have adequate ability to secure their inventory, because a truck can come through a wooden fence, pick up roofing materials, have them on a roof the next day, and they're just almost impossible to trace. So instead of a wooden fence, I'm asking for a chain link fence, and without the divisions in it for strength. That's what we're looking for, is to be able for them to take care of their inventory. So that is one of my variances. The second one is, I don't mind doing the landscaping at all on the sides. As a matter of fact, what I would like to do, since this building's 26 foot tall, nobody's going to see unless they stop and start walking back there where these trees are. I'd like to take 8 of them off, 4 off of each side, and put them in front of the building between the parking lot and the retention pond. And then we'll get the other 8 trees in the back. So I'm really moving them around, but I want you to note that when I did my survey of existing trees, I ended up with almost 30 trees that follow in the easements, which we intend to protect. So the number of trees that, I mean, God may not have put them exactly where you wanted them, but they're on site. And we'd like to be able to have a lot of trees on site. And I will also point out that the area to the right that's a part of this plat, it's not a part of this plat. It's actually on a lease to Whitecap, which is the tenant on the east. That was the back trees were waived on that, and that's what I'm asking for, is to waive the back trees on of that property in that nobody can see it. I've got 19 trees in that easement anyway, and as you will note, we have a trucking company on one side, a fencing company on the other, and I've already mentioned Whitecap, which I'm a partial owner of, that has no reason to have those trees in there, and they're happy to use what God's presented us. So that's the two variances, and with that, we'd like to get the permission to let pour concrete and put these people to work.
Thank you for that. Staff comments?
For planning, we are requesting to update the lighting plan to display our current plan and not the previous large-scale development. And we are recommending to provide lighting to the storage yard, both for crime prevention and safety measures. And like Mr. McClard said, variance B2596 has been requested for the landscaping to utilize his existing tree canopy and relocate what would be planted on the east side of that laydown, or the storage yard, to the front of the building. He has agreed to plant, as you can see, the trees on the north and south side. And then also for the screening, he's going to have that 8-foot chain link fence around the storage yard, and he's requesting to not have breaks every 50 feet as the commercial design standards state.
No comments from engineering besides, you can take down that Chinese privet. We don't want that one.
Did you know there's a loblolly pine on that place? That's really neat.
Any public comments regarding this request? Commissioners, any questions or comments? If not, we'll address the variance requests. If we want to take these together, it'll be a single call for the vote.
Take them together and call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Large scale, this will be a motion subject to staff comments.
Motion, subject to staff comments.
Second.
Thank you. That passes 8-0 as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
This time, we're going to take a 5-minute intermission. We'll take a quick bathroom break and a switcheroo up here, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you for being accommodating, everybody.
My right? Yeah, it is my right. Everybody else is left to me. It's Ms. Jacqueline Perez. She is going to sit in for Sharon for the rest of the meeting. Thank you for doing that. Next up is Trade Pro, L25-33. This is a large-scale development as well. There's a variance for commercial design standards in landscaping. Also, there's a waiver of street improvements on Oak Grove Road. This is presented by ESI.
Hey, Nick Bonin with ESI. Yeah, we got a couple variances and waivers. The variances are going to be for landscaping due to the electric easement that runs throughout the property. It'll cover most of the southern side of the middle tract as well as some of the frontage on the east side. And then the waiver is going to be for street improvements currently this is 2 tracks. We're splitting into 3 tracks. The northern tract and the southern tract are going to be not part of this development. So we're going to try to due to not knowing the connections for future use, we don't want to do street improvements for those just yet.
Thank you for that. Staff comments?
So in addition to standard comments, provide a table or summary of phases 1 and 2, and include the improvements that are in the scope of each phase. So my question there was, will phase 1 complete everything except for the vertical structure of the building, or does that phase line include the pavement, parking, everything about that building pad there? A screening fence is required in accordance with Chapter 56 along the west border of the site and the south border of what will be Tract 3. There are 2 exhibits illustrating that. Might have just been an error. The full fence needs to be on pages 3 and 9 as well. And screening method details are needed, and it would be nice to at least have documentation on the fence that is there. And then for commercial design standards, identify the location in the screening method for proposed building or ground-mounted equipment in the proposed plans.
Engineering, please submit a PDF of the signed and sealed drainage report. Storm sewer should be minimum 0.4% slope. What improvements are needed for Oak Grove Road to bring it to local standards? So we're just looking for a formal design there with geotech analysis. They've asked for the waiver to do less than the full improvements along the entire frontage since they've split this into 3 parcels. And we do need to show some on-street parking in this local street. This area has developed a lot recently, and since we have started our Jean George North project, a lot of the traffic that goes on Oak Grove now is going to be moved over to that side, and Oak Grove will be a small commercial area. That's the way we see it. So we'd like to have public on-street parking all the way up and down. It's already been provided on the east side by one of the new developments going in.
Thank you for that. Any public comments regarding this large-scale development? Commissioners, any questions about the large-scale or the waiver request? Sorry.
Quick comment. Could I get a flow test on that 6-inch main that runs in front of the site before staff approval? Yeah, we don't have anything current anywhere up and down there. Thanks.
Commissioners, any questions or comments? I think the only concern I have regarding improving Oak Grove Road is Tract 3. I'm not sure how sellable that lot is based on the easement taking up a large portion of it. Are you willing to do street improvements on Oak Grove for Tract 3 and 2? Because I think Tract 1 at the top, I think that's obviously something that can be sold fairly easy. I can see the people at that time being able to improve the street.
I would have to talk to the client about that, but we can see what he wants to do.
You got somebody come over here give you assist.
Yeah.
Training.
Thank you, Jason Apple with ESI.
Thanks, Jason.
I mean, I understand your concern. There is some buildable space there. We would like to, proceed with the waiver as presented.
Okay, thank you. So this will be a waiver request. This will be a motion to forward to City Council with a recommendation of denial or approval.
Motion to forward to City Council recommending approval.
Second.
Thank you. That passes 5-3. Next is large-scale development. I'm sorry. Too many red lines here. Variance for commercial design standards landscaping. This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
That passes 8-0. Next is large scale. This will be a motion subject to staff comments.
Motion, subject to staff comments.
Second.
That passes 8-0.
Staff will prepare a resolution that will go to council on the 25th.
Thank you.
Next up is Board of Adjustments. First up is B 25-94, Audubon Soto and Maria Garcia. It's a request to reduction front setback from 30 foot to 15, a variance for driver expansion towards primary entrance, presented by the Mr. Soto and Ms. Garcia. Hello.
Hello. They are asking for variance and reduction of the front setback from 30 to 15, and also the variance for driveway expansion toward primary entrance.
Thank you. Staff comments?
Has a driveway permit been submitted?
Not yet. So regardless of the, I guess, approval of the setback, but if we get the primary entrance variance passed, you guys will need to come to engineering and fill out a driveway expansion permit.
Yeah.
And then I was measuring this and, just on the computer, so it's an estimate. You can't have more than 40% of your front yard paved, and this was at like 42. So might just need to measure a little bit more precisely out in the field and make sure that that 8 foot will fit. You might have to trim it down to like 7 foot, but other than that, there's no issues.
Thank you for that. Any public comments regarding this request? Commissioners? No comments. This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Those pass 8-0. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Next up is B 25-95, Enrique Ordonez Maldonado. Variance for reduction of front setback from 30 foot to 15 foot.
Good evening. We are wanting approval for the reduction of front setback from 30 to 15. We're just doing some alterations to the back of the house for a room and turning it into I think it's a patio.
Staff comments, any?
This is an interesting one only because it's a corner lot, so that just means that we have two fronts. I believe that you all have submitted a permit with the building department.
Yes, we're just waiting for approval for it.
There might be a sewer main that's running along Evelyn, so we want to make sure that whatever is built doesn't encroach further than what's existing.
So in this picture here, where's your addition going relative to what we're looking at?
So the tiny room that it's like all marked up, we're gonna take away all the walls and just make the roof taller and make that a little patio space. The room is just not well built.
Got it.
So we're just changing it.
Understood. Any public comments regarding this request? Commissioners, any questions or comments?
So was it already at 15 feet, that current structure that's there? The current room, excuse me.
If the current room was there already, or?
Yeah, so with that current room right there, what is the actual setback?
I think it's,
Yeah, I think it's
30.
I was only asking because you're planning to just replace that basically and not go any further back.
Right.
So we call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. It passes 8-0. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Next up is B 25-97, Karina Marian Aguilar. This is a variance for reduction in front setback from 30 foot to 15. It's a common thing going on tonight, 30 to 15.
Good evening. My name is Marlon, and we're here because we want to add a porch or a carport, either way, on the front setback from 30 to 15 feet.
Yeah, thank you for that. Any staff comments regarding this? Any public comment regarding this request? Commissioners?
Is that current garage not usable on the?
Yes, yes. The thing is, we want to, with all this kind of weather that we have right now in Arkansas, so we have like 3 cars, and we want to protect the third car, so we got 2 garage doors that we can put 2 cars inside, but we want to add something because hail
Yes.
and snow and all of that kind of stuff, it's kind of bad. And we got like almost 3 claims on our cars in the last couple of years, and then insurance is just go up. And we want to step a little bit that's why we're asking that.
Thank you for that. So we call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up is B 25-98, Maria Guzman and Mauricio Becerra, sorry. Variance for reduction of rear setback from 20 foot to 6 foot 5 inches. A variance for reduction of side setback from 6 foot to 8 foot to 3 foot. Hello.
Good evening. I'm Mauricio Lorenzetti. I'm actually going to request to table the second variance, the one that's from 8 feet to 3 feet. We're going to work with the fire department to make new adjustments. The first one, the variance of reduction of the rear setback from 20 feet to 6.5, it's for a extension to a shed. I'm the property owner. We used to have it as a rental property. My family moved from Virginia to Arkansas. My parents lived there, and they just need to have additional storage space, so they want to extend the shed. So yeah, I want to make the setback from 20 feet to 6.5.
What will the material be on that wall? Non-combustible?
Conventional lumber, 2x4s.
No, the exterior material, the finished material. Help me out here, Ed. What do you normally ask for?
Exterior? The exterior?
Go ahead. Yeah, the fire department's going to ask for non-combustible cladding, so that's hardy board or similar product. You can do brick, but it's a little more expensive.
Right.
And it's just on that one line that's to the rear.
Correct, yeah. We plan on using appropriate siding material that's approved.
We will want to get with you on that other structure, and we'll give you some guidance on what you can do so you can get approval.
Yes, sir.
For that.
Any comments from public regarding this request? Commissioners, any questions or comments? If not, this is call for the vote. We're just voting on the variance for reduction of rear setback from 20 foot to 6.5 foot with proper exterior material along that fence row.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Thank you.
The variance for the side setback will be placed on the agenda for the next planning commission meeting on the 2nd of December. It'll place at the top of the agenda, so you won't have to wait as long.
Starting at 5 o'clock?
Correct.
Great. Thank you so much.
This is B 25-99, Austin Beck. Request for variance of rear setback from 35 foot to 7.5, side setback from 20 foot to 7.5.
Good evening. So as you can see illustrated, planning a shed in the back part of, I would say that is the east and south part of the property. Zoned ag, so the setbacks are fairly large currently. I just want to take it up to the utility easements. And that would match existing structures, as you can see on the diagram, and an adjacent shed for the neighboring property.
So it says here that you're willing to amend your request to 15-foot rear
Yeah.
setback to avoid the utilities? Is that
Yeah, on
correct?
the rear setback, I just misspoke or wrote on the
Sure.
application, so.
Understood. Any staff comments? Commissioners, any questions or comments regarding these reductions? If none, this will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Passes 8-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up is Terry and Jerry Siglar. This is B 25-100, variance for reduction of side setback from 8 foot to 7 foot. Hello, sir.
How are you doing? I have a small RV, a camper van, and basically what I'm wanting to do is I have a 15-foot variance to the next to the property line that I share. I don't want to get close enough to where I have to build anything up to fire code. It's just going to be an open carport, but I want to build it nice, and so I just need a variance close enough so that I can protect it.
Understood.
And the 8 to 7 foot, that's kind of misleading. I guess I wrote it up wrong anyway. I'm just wanting to build close enough, but not into that 5-foot area.
Okay. And it's just to park an RV when you're not using it other ways, or is it living quarters?
No, it's just to park the RV. I have it parked there right now that you can see. And the 8, like I said, it looks like the 8 foot out, it's not quite right, but I'm wanting to go within 6 to 7 feet from the property line, that 5-foot area, so that I don't have to build an enclosed garage.
Staff comments?
Yeah, the fire department's going to oppose anything that brings it within 8 feet and oppose the side setback, so that would bring it within that 8 feet.
Okay.
You're right in the 5 feet, which would be against state law, but we would oppose anything within the 8 feet unless you wanted to close off the sides with non-combustible cladding.
Okay.
So are you just currently planning on putting a roof on it and then have it open
Just extending the roof, yes.
from your
Having it
house
open.
to cover?
To cover in fact, I can park, I'll be
Sure.
able to park closer to the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty much where it is now, a little closer to the house, but you're going to extend the roof to cover the top of it. And are you saying that you rather have cladding on the side versus an open?
Yeah, so the problem is the opening allows flame propagation from underneath, from structure to structure. So the non-combustible cladding would prevent this. So in addition, I didn't mention, but if you were to cover the side with non-combustible cladding, we would not oppose even going greater than 7 feet less than 7 feet, up to 5 feet.
But it would need
So-
to be enclosed on that one side?
On that
next to
one
the property,
side, it
the
needs
one
to be
side.
enclosed, yeah, and we wouldn't care if you went even down to 5 feet if you enclose it with no openings.
Okay.
So that would give you a bigger space. So when
But
you
that-
drop below
you-
8,
Are you talking
enclose.
about completely enclosed with a garage door and all?
No,
Or
just on the
that
side.
Just on the
Just
side.
on the
Open
side.
front and the back. Okay.
Just whatever drops within 8 feet would need to be enclosed.
Okay, all right. Well, that would protect me from the sun going down on the west anyway, so.
Yeah, so that would help, that would give you actually more space. So once you drop below 8, we would not oppose anything between 8 and 5 as long as it was enclosed between that 8 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you want to withdraw your reduction of side setback? Because right now you're requesting from 8 foot to 7. Or do you want to keep it, but you're willing to do the non-combustible cladding on that side that
I'd do a
approach-
non-combustible cladding on that side if
Yeah.
it gave us
Sure.
closer to the 5 foot and gave us more.
So I think you build this, if it's closer to, if it's within 8 foot, you got to put the siding on. If it's not, I think you're good with open. We just have to measure it and see where we are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Any other comments?
Sir, can you clarify the distance between the property line on that side and the structure that you plan to build? Is it 7 feet or would it be less?
From the end of the house to the property line is 15 feet.
And from the carport structure to the property line?
Well, if I put the cladding that he's talking about, then I would be maybe 6 feet from the property line and get as much space as I could.
Would you like to amend your variance request to, from 8 feet to 6 feet?
Sure.
Okay.
That would be great.
This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
You? That passes 8-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Corrine Lee Shaver, B 25-101, variance for reduction of side setback from 20 foot to 8 foot, presented by Joe Hart.
Thank you. I'm Joe.
Hello, Joe.
This request is very similar to the last one. This is currently A1 agriculture. And with the building of the Gene George roundabout there, it limited our available parking and around the side of the house or in front of the house. It's so close to the street now. And what I'd like to do is put, like the last one, the variance I asked for was 8 feet, I think. On the agenda, it says 12. And I spoke to Ruth about that, and it was going to be changed to 8 feet. Is that?
It is 8 foot.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, real good. And, yeah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for, and do a covered carport. The only thing that I don't know about is there a difference in attaching that roof to the existing house, or should it not be attached? Does it matter?
Ed, you got an answer to that?
Yeah. The difference is if you don't attach the carport to your house, then it's considered an accessory structure and has to be 10 feet away from the house. That attachment to the house can be as simple as the roof or, a binder from the supporting post. It doesn't have to be borne by the house.
Right. I was going to extend the roof line. It's kind of a higher pitch roof and just extend that.
Yeah, the tricky part with extending your roof out, the further you go, the higher you got to get up.
Right.
In order so you can clear your head.
Right. But yeah, it's like 12 feet off the ground from where it is now.
Oh, you're good.
Thank you for that, Ed. This will be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Passes 8-0. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Next up is K, B 25-105, Willshade Investments LTD. So two things we're looking at: the variance for commercial design standards screening and the variance for paving requirements.
Demita Torrance for Willshade. First, let me say how excited we are to be coming to Springdale. This will be our second location, first in Arkansas. And we're asking for a variance on the chain link fence to secure our equipment and for a 60-by-60 gravel pad in the back corner for our heavier equipment to set, so it's not on the concrete.
Thank you. Staff comments, if any?
I had a question about your gates. How much stacking room will there be from like the closed gate to the road? Like, will there be enough space for a vehicle to pull in?
Yes, I believe there's like a 20-foot.
Okay, so there's a good amount of space there. Okay, yeah, we just didn't want anybody to get
And we're
stuck sticking out in the
actually-
road.
We've got 3 gates planned that we're going to put in, but the gate that's closest to the light, we actually won't be open. We're going to have equipment set in front.
Okay, great.
There's
That
just-
was gonna be my
there's
next
not.
question.
So we're going to have the farthest away from the light and then the one on the side street.
Okay, thank you.
So looking at this image, you're going to have an operating gate at the 40-foot wide double gate and then an operating gate at the 20-foot cantilever gate.
Correct.
But you're not really going to utilize a 32-foot wide double gate that's closest to the intersection.
Correct. It
Okay.
will be there just
Sure,
for
just-
us to be able to get in
Understood.
and out equipment if we need to, but it'll stay closed during, all the time.
Any comments, any public comment regarding this request? Commissioners? If none, let's do the variance first. It'll be called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
That passes 8-0. Now for the variance for paving requirements on this one section. Also call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Passes 8-0 as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, prior to the installation of the fencing, go ahead and give our office a call so we can ensure that, there's enough stacking space and things like that.
We'll do it.
Thank you.
Next section is waivers, our final, thank goodness. W25-41, this is Fing site modification, waiver for street improvements on North Thompson Street, Moody Avenue, and Woods Drive, presented by Bates and Associates. Hello again.
Hello again. Addie Munzie with Bates and Associates. We were proposing a variance to the waivers for the streets. Oh, I don't remember the streets, but all three streets, basically. It makes a U shape.
Staff comments?
So the development on this site is relatively minor. They actually kept the same footprint. They just tore down a dilapidated structure and rebuilt it. So the street improvements really aren't going to serve this development and wouldn't really make sense for what they're doing.
Understood. Thank you for that. Any public comment regarding this request? Commissioners, any comments? If none, this will be a motion forward to City Council with a recommendation to deny or approve.
I move that we forward to City Council with the recommendation to approve this.
Can I get a second? Thank you. That would be so motioned.
Thank you.
Staff will prepare a resolution. I'm double checking the date for council on the 25th.
Perfect, thank you.
And Addie, I have the same question about their gate. We'd like to see what the spacing is from where they have that gate to Thompson. It looked like it was a little short, and we request we might move it if there's enough space too. So we'll just look at it.
I don't know what the plans are in order of keeping it, I don't know, but I'll get that clarified though. Yep, thank you.
Next up is W25-43, William Presley, waiver of street improvements, sidewalk on Dixon Street, presented by EM Custom Homes. Thanks for hanging in there, guys.
Yep, no problem. My name is William Presley. We're just looking to get a waiver to not build a sidewalk up against the house.
Any staff comments? If I remember correctly, we saw this months ago, maybe a year ago, and I think the council reversed improvements on the other side of the street, on the west side. So there's been no improvements on this street, and matter of fact, our city council, I think, reversed our denial of that to allow them not to approve the other side of it. So any staff comments regarding this request? Any public comments regarding this request? Commissioners, any questions? If none, this will be a motion.
Motion to forward to council to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. That passes 8-0. Thank you, gentlemen.
Staff will prepare a resolution that will be heard at council on the 25th. You are not required to attend, but encouraged. It's here at 6 p.m.
Next on the agenda is the planning director's report. Would you like to give the report? She would.
Okay, these are all Sharon's notes. She says, Happy Thanksgiving. There's no work session for the month. The council approved an ordinance amending Article 4, Section 4.3 of the zoning code to allow use Unit 26 as a conditional use in the I-1 district. With that change in place, R2550 was able to shift their request from a rezone to I-2 down to I-1, as the council had asked, and so that petition was approved at council. The council also authorized the city to enter into an agreement with Garver for professional services to update the future land use plan and prepare the Unified Development Code, something we are very much looking forward to. 2 comprehensive plan updates were approved, the Downtown Master Plan Addendum, which included a housing study as well as a parking study for the downtown area, and the master street plan, was also approved. 1 Scrivener's error correction was approved for RP 2504 that was originally heard in May, It is Lot 1, Block 1 of the Rugel Edition for Bluff Cemetery. The council overturned one appeal supporting a downgrade to an MF12. The original request was an MF16, and agreed to hear the corresponding rezoning ordinance at the meeting scheduled for the 10th. That is next Monday. 5 rezoning petitions and 2 waivers were approved, and 1 item was tabled at the request of the applicant. And those are our updates.
Thank you. Great job. With that, we'll adjourn. Thank you all.